Haribol! Hey guys, thanks for joining me on my channel today. This week's class is a big twisting, strong strength class. Twisting is one of my favorite things to do on the mat. It just makes me feel so energized and so ready to conquer the day. So I hope that this will do the same for you. So we'll be standing for most of this practice, really working the body hard and also creating some space in the spine and in the internal organs. If you have a block, feel free to grab it and have it nearby next to your mat. And make sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm bringing you new classes every single week, so don't miss out. Let's do it. Let's step the feet out to about the width of the mat. You can rock from front to back on your toes and heels. Just kind of feel into your grounding here, right through all points of the feet. Really root down and feel steady here. We want to have a slight flex to the knees, so we're not locking the knees in. And have our legs nice and active. Engage the core. Let's take a few deep breaths here. We can have our hands on our hips or just resting at our sides. Take these first deep breaths of the practice with a lot of intensity. Really engage with the exhale. Using those muscles in the core. And come into this active practice. We're really going to be working our muscles, doing a lot of standing poses. So just get ready with it with a strong breath. Now inhale and lift the arms up towards the sky. Take the gaze there as well. And as we exhale, we bring the right hand back, left hand forward, and we have a little twist in our upper spine. We try and keep our hips facing the front as much as possible, and we just notice that twist in the thoracic spine. Hands are at about shoulder height, maybe a little bit lower. And try and keep that deep breathing going. Last breath. And then with the inhale, we sweep the right arm around and up towards the sky. And then exhale, we'll go to the other side. Left hand back, right hand forward. Again, keeping those hips square to the front of the mat as much as possible. Just working in the thoracic spine. One more breath here. And sweep the left arm down and then up. Both hands up to the sky with the inhale. Exhale. Palms to the heart. Press the thumbs into the chest. We'll take 3 deep breaths here in the center. And during these breaths, just do a nice full body scan. Just notice if you're holding any tightness anywhere. If you're feeling any discomfort. Maybe itching or tingling. Just noticing, taking the awareness from the top of the body down through the torso, down to the toes, and then back up again. Take your time with this. Maybe we'll stay here for a little bit more than 3 breaths. And we'll continue on with our twisting. Something that's really great about twisting is that we bring a little bit of restriction into the body, which then when we release that restriction, it allows for a really beautiful fresh flow of blood to go to that area. So some people call this a detoxifying kind of practice, but really it's just kind of waking up the body, waking up the internal organs. So we're going to take a walk up to the front of the mat. This time, place the feet hip distance apart. We'll inhale and lift the arms up, really root down through the feet as we exhale and bend the knees into chair pose. Now here, I want to make sure that you have a slight tilt in the pelvis towards the front of the mat, okay? So we're not sticking the booty out, we're tucking it in. And the arms are up, but we're not crowding the ears with the shoulders. Nice and strong. With our next exhale, we'll bring the palms together and turn towards the right, bringing the left elbow to the outside of the right knee, coming into a little twist. Now here, we may notice that our left knee pops out a little bit further than our right knee. We want to fix that. So send the left knee back. That will make our hips back in alignment. Take one more breath here. Feel that fire. And then inhale and lift back up through center, arms up to the sky, straightening the legs. Exhale, palms to center. One more time, inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, chair pose. Couple of breaths here, just in the center. Find your alignment, notice your spine. And then with your next exhale, this time go to the left side. The right elbow comes on the outside of the left knee. Again, be aware of that alignment in the hip. If we need to, just draw that right hip back a little bit. Nice, strong breaths. If you know how to use Ujjayi Pranayama, feel free to engage as always. Last breath. And then with an inhale, we come back up through center, straightening the legs, lifting the arms up. Exhale, arms down, palms in. Notice the change in heart rate right now. Close the eyes. Deep breaths into the center of the heart. Now release the hands. We'll shift the weight into the right foot. Send the left foot back, and we find high lunge. Right knee is over right ankle. Left heel is lifted. We bring the arms up. We stitch in those low ribs and make sure we're not arching too much in the spine. And we're actively pushing from both legs. Now, lower the left heel down. We'll open the hips to the long edge of the mat. And we lower the right forearm down to the right knee, extends the left arm up over the left ear. This is extended side angle pose. Just getting a nice long stretch all through the left side of the body. With an inhale, we'll lift back through center, turning with the exhale, the hips and lifting the left heels, finding high lunge again. And then we bring our arms into the heart. Take a deep inhale here. And with the exhale, we'll turn towards the right. We find our twist again, very similar to our chair twist, but this time with our legs in high lunge. Try and feel the heart lifting up towards the center. Try and bring the heart towards the hands. That's where the twist is. One more breath. Then with an inhale, we come through center. And exhale, we step it forward into chair. Just briefly, and then we lift it up with the inhale, extend, and exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Take a few deep breaths here. And then release with the exhale, release the hands. We shift the weight over into the left foot. We send the right foot back, high lunge on the other side. And really sink in here. Want to make sure we have that nice alignment, knee over ankle. And we lift the arms up without arching the spine too much. Taking the gaze straight forward. We find our strength as we lower the right heel down, shifting the hips to the long edge of the mat so they're square to the long edge of the mat. And we bring the left arm down to the left knee, extending the right arm over the right ear, getting that nice extended side angle pose. You can have your gaze looking down or up, whatever feels good for your neck. And again, we're still pushing with that back leg. So we're not just falling and putting all of our weight into the bent knee. We're still pushing with the back leg. Last breath here. Then with an inhale, we turn to face center. We exhale. Bring the hands in front of the heart. We have our right heel lifted now. We're in high lunge again. And we inhale to lift the heart up. And exhale, turn towards the left. Bring the right elbow on top of the left knee, coming into our twist. Again, try and lift the heart as much as possible. But always listening to our spine. Remember, we don't want to push anything too far. We just want to get a nice stretch out of this. Last breath. Inhale to lift up to center. Exhale, step it forward. Find our chair pose just for a second. And then inhale, lift up. Exhale, hands to heart. Should feel a nice sweat at this point. Heart rate should be pumping. Let's take some deep breaths. Feel in control. Last one here. Now we'll inhale, sweeping the arms out and up. We'll go through a little sun salutation. Exhale, forward fold. Let's inhale halfway up, but let's milk this sun salutation a little bit. So let's exhale and fold again. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, fold. Last one. Now, bend the knees. We'll plant the hands on the mat and step the feet back to plank. Take an inhale here. And as we exhale, we drop the knees, the chest, and the chin. Inhale, cobra, little back bends. And exhale, let's find child's pose. So forehead to the earth. Arms are extended forward. We press the hips down towards the heels. And then with this next breath, we'll really press into the hands. We'll lift the hips up to tuck the toes and find downward facing dog, our first one of the practice. So feel free to walk it out, bending one knee and then the other. Moving the hips a little bit if that feels good. Just kind of play with it. You can lift one leg. Find some hip rotations. And then slowly come to stillness. Pressing the chest towards the thighs. Last breath here. We'll inhale, lift the right leg up to the sky. And exhale, step it through in between the hands. Coming into warrior one. So we'll bring the left heel down. We have a heel to heel alignment. Right knee is bent. And we can have these separated as much as we need to. So if you need a little bit of a shorter stance and less of a bend in the knee, feel free. Now, we want to have our hips facing forward towards the short edge of the mat. We lift our arms up and breathe. Last breath in the strength pose for this round. And then with our inhale, we'll step the left foot forward just a little bit so that we can extend the right leg, bring the hands down to the hips, and we fold forward. Now, keep a slight bend to your right knee so we're not locking anything out, and you can just find a place to rest here, whether it's on your leg or on the floor. Really try and bring awareness into the hip space. So you want to have your right hip drawing back and your left hip drawing forward to try and keep everything squared with the front edge of the mat. If you'd like, you can fold even more or stay lifted. And if you're folded, let's go ahead and lift halfway up now. We can bring our left hand to our shin bone and just bring the right hand to the low back. So we're trying out our balance and getting just a little bit of a twist. Notice how your right foot is moving all over the place to keep your balance. Maybe we fall out of it, and that's perfectly fine. We just hop right back in. Now with an exhale, we'll lower both hands down to the mat. We can bend our right knee just a little bit and step both feet back so we find our plank pose. With an exhale, we lower knees, chest, and chin down to the floor. Inhale, lower the hips down. We find cobra. And exhale, let's go into downward facing dog. Now we're going to stay with the right side. So let's inhale and lift the right leg up, and exhale, step it through in between the hands. We'll go through a similar sequence right now. So we'll find our warrior one again. Left heel is down on the earth. Our hips are facing forward. Our arms reach up. We find that strength again. Big, strong warriors. Take a few breaths here. And this time, we're really going to work on our balance. We're going to go a little bit deeper into our twists. So now, we'll take an inhale, step the left foot forward just a little bit, straighten the right leg. Once again, we bring our hands down to our hips and we lower down. You can bring our hands to the floor if that's available, or just find a resting point or blocks if you have blocks by you. Now, we have our hips facing forward, aligned with the front edge of the mat. We'll bring our hand, left hand, to the outside of our right leg. Now again, if you have a block, this is a great place to put it. If you don't, you can just grab onto your right leg or on the outside of the right foot on the floor. Okay? Now from here, we have our right hands on our low back. We start to find the twist, opening up all the way through the shoulders, and maybe we can even lift the right hand up towards the sky, taking the gaze there as well. This is our revolved triangle. This is one of those poses that I always struggle with. So make sure if you're struggling with it, you keep breathing. And don't worry, we won't be here too much longer. And in fact, with the next exhale, we'll bring the gaze back down to the floor to give us a little bit of balance. We move the left hand forward in front of the right foot, and we press all the way into our right foot, lifting the left leg up and pointing through the left toes. This is our revolved half moon. So this may be really hard. It is for me. Just find your balance. If you fall out, just laugh and try to get back in with care, right? Mindfully get back into it. Two more breaths. And with that exhale, we lower down. Right hand to the floor. We step the left foot back, plant the hands on either side of the front foot, and step it back to plank. Take an inhale and exhale. Just drop the knees and find child's pose. Enjoy it. We can even open up the knees a little bit, get really lazy into it. Now, we've done all kinds of work on the right side of the body. Just take this moment to do another body scan. Just going from the crown of the head down through the torso to the toes, and then back up again. And just notice the maybe great difference, maybe not so significant difference between the left and right sides of the body at this point. Two more breaths. Inhale, lift the forehead up, press into the hands, and we'll just slowly make our way to downward facing dog again. Really, really slow. Maybe pedaling out the feet until we find our comfort here and find stillness. Now we'll move into the other side. So let's inhale and lift the left leg up. Exhale, step it through in between the hands. Right heel goes down, heel to heel alignment, and we find our warrior one. Make sure our hips are aligned. We draw that left hip back, right hip forward, and the arms go up to the sky. Gaze is strong and looking forward. We feel the difference in our balance on this side. Now take a little step forward, straightening the left leg, bringing the arms down, hands to the hips, and with the exhale, we bend forward for our right angle pose. We can have our hands on either side of the front foot or staying here at the hips or down on the leg. Just make sure that we're not locking in the knee. If you'd like, you can bend all the way down and really fold over the front leg, letting the head hang heavy. And if you folded, this time we'll inhale and lift the chest up. We'll bring the right hand to the left foot or on that block if you have that nearby. And we'll just bring the left hand to the low back, just getting a little mini twist, right? Easing into this, the deeper portion in our next round. Just feel the alignment in the hip. If you notice that you've opened up, make sure that you bring the hips back in alignment here in the front. Last breath. With the exhale, we release, hands on either side of the front foot, and we step both feet back. With the exhale, we drop the knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Maybe we can go a little bit deeper if that feels okay. We suck the belly button in, and we press back, downward dog. One last breath. And then we'll keep going with this left side. So inhale, left leg up. Exhale, send it through. Warrior one again. Remember, we're just building on top of the sequence. So we have our warrior one. Arms are lifted up next to the ears. Find the stability here, so really push evenly from both legs. Find your core strength. That's going to help us with the balance. And notice if you can even lift the pelvic floor as we get into these poses. Now, we'll take the slight step forward with the right foot, straighten the left leg, hands to the hips, and we lower down. Now we bring our right hand to the outside of the left foot or on top of the block. Remember, if you have it, that's available, or on your leg, whatever makes this work for you. Okay, and you don't have to go any further than the left hand on the low back, but if you want to and it feels good for your spine, we can keep turning and twisting in the high back and maybe lift the left hand up to the sky. You can take the gaze up that way as well. Two more breaths. And then slowly turn the head down to look at the floor. We send the right hand a little bit forward so it's in front of the left foot. We take our weight into the left foot and lift the right toes up, point through the toes, and keep the twist in the spine. Now here you can see I have my fingertips on the earth. If you want to have your full palm, whoops. If you want to have your full palm down there, I can't even hold that. If you want to have your full palm down there, you can. But maybe that's not available for you like it isn't for me right now. We'll take one last breath. And with the exhale, we lower left hand to the floor. Step them back, and we'll just lower down into child's pose. That was a hard one. That side was a little bit more difficult. If you're like me and you need a little bit of space, you can open up your knees, sink the hips back, bring the forehead to the earth. Last breath here. And we'll press into the hands, lift the hips up, tuck the toes, and sit up for downward facing dog. We're going to start slowing down the practice now. So we'll inhale, right leg up to the sky. Exhale, right knee to right wrist. And we set ourselves up for pigeon pose. So our right foot is on the ground as well as our right knee. And we can bring that right foot really close into the left hip. Now, if you find that your right hip is still really, really high and lifted, you can stick that block or maybe a pillow right under your hip. If that's the case and your hips are lifted really high, we'll just stay up here on our fingertips, chest lifted, keeping the gaze straight forward. Deep breathing. If we have both hips on the ground here, then with an exhale, we can lower down and bring your chest towards the earth. Now here, as we relax into the stretch, we have options for a little twist as well. So I'll start out here. If you're still lifted in the heart and your hips are a little bit higher, then that's perfectly fine. All we're going to do is maybe walk the hands over towards the right and find that twist, the spinal twist. Okay, if we're low, then what we'll do is a little thread the needle action. So we'll bring the left arm underneath the right, try and rest the left ear on the floor, and then we can bring the right arm around the back and either keep it on the low back, hand on the low back, or you can look for the right foot with your right hand. Wherever you are, make sure that your breathing is still big and beautiful. We'll be here just for a couple more breaths. If you decided to take a twisting option, slowly make your way back to center. And if you're low, you can come high, lifting the heart. We'll take the weight over into the right hip and swing the left leg around and to the outside of the right knee. So left foot on the outside of the right knee. Now, knee is lifted, left knee is lifted. We take an inhale and lift the chest as well. And as we exhale, we turn towards the left, bringing the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Nice big breaths here. Making sure we don't twist so far that we can't breathe effectively. Just take it back a little bit, take the ego out, don't go so deep. And by respecting this and not being driven by the ego, we will more than likely not hurt ourselves in our physical bodies. So, win-win. With an exhale, we'll release, come back to center. We'll bring the hands behind us, shift the weight back, uncross the legs, and we can bend the left knee, setting ourselves up for pigeon on the other side. We use our hands to lift ourselves up and walk the right leg back, okay? Do this in whatever graceful way you possibly can. We're just switching sides with the left leg forward and bent, right leg straight back. Now again, if we are really lifted in the hips, we place a block or a pillow underneath that left hip. If we can bring both hips down to the earth, we can fold forward. Otherwise, we just stay lifted like this. If we're up tall, we have our chest lifted and our gaze is forward. We can find our twist. It's optional, by the way. We know that. We can turn, walking the hands towards the left, getting a little twist in the spine. If we wanted to lower down with our chest towards the floor, we'll find our thread the needle action with our right arm this time underneath our left, and our right ear comes down to the floor. Then we can bring our left hand behind the back and either to the low back, or we can look for the left foot. We'll stay here for a few more breaths. And slowly release. If you're in a twist, take your time and come out of it. We'll lift the chest up and tilt over, taking the weight to the left hip. That way we can swing the right leg around, bring the right foot on the outside of the left knee. Right knee is lifted. We take an inhale and lift the chest as well. And as we exhale, we turn towards the right, bringing the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. And just look behind us. Couple more breaths. With the exhale, release back to the center, unravel the legs, and make your way onto your back. Arms out to the sides in cactus arms. We'll turn the hips, move the hips over to the left side, extend the right leg, the left knee comes over to the right side of the mat, just coming into a spinal twist. Just really quick and easy. We can take our face and look towards the left elbow. And really slow down the breath. Getting into these more restorative poses, slower poses, less resistance. Really take in all the hard work you've done. Slowly come to center, and once we're there, we'll take the hips over to the right side of the mat, extend the left leg, right knee crosses over to the left side of the mat. We can take the face over to the right elbow, just settle into a little twist. Not being too picky here, we're just laying around at this point, just enjoying these more restorative twists. Take a moment and just enjoy this. Enjoy the emptiness of the mind. Because whenever we do so much physical activity, we tend to kind of lose all the nonsense that goes around in our brain. Just be grateful for this, at least little moment of peace. We'll slowly come back to center, and we'll find Shavasana. Extending the legs, arms come down at the sides. Can wiggle a little bit in the body and just get settled in. Take a couple of last deep breaths. And take a few moments here just to do our body scan again. Start from the crown of the head. Notice the top of the skull. And move down towards the eyebrows, the face, the jaw, the throat. Just noticing the quality of your breath as you do your scan. Down into the chest and the shoulders. Notice the sensations in your arms, your hands and fingertips. And then back towards the heart. Notice your stomach and all of this core space. We did a lot of squeezing and releasing in this area. Do we notice any release of tension, maybe that we were holding before? More feeling in this area, whether it's good or bad. Just notice. Bring our awareness into the pelvis, into the legs, and down into the bottoms of the feet and the toes. Then taking that scan, we go back up the body from the toes, through the feet and the heels, the calves, the knees, thighs, pelvis, stomach, all of our internal organs there, the chest and shoulders, down through the arms again, through the palms, fingertips, and travel back to the heart space. Take your awareness into the throat, through the face, the back of the skull, into the crown and top of the head. Just listen to your body, feel these sensations. Try to hold on to all sensations at once, being completely aware of the entire body. We take a few moments of quiet to be present in this vessel. Take a deep inhale and exhale through the mouth. Wiggle the fingers and toes, awaken the body. Take your time. Big belly breaths here. We'll slowly, ever so slowly, turn towards one side. Another big breath through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And then push yourself up to a comfortable seat. Maybe keeping the eyes closed if that feels good for you. Cross the legs, rest the hands on the knees. Sit up with a tall spine. Bring the palms into the heart space, palms together in front of the heart. Take a deep inhale through the nose into the center of the chest and exhale through the mouth. Opening up the eyes, welcoming in the lights into our sensory fields. Having a moment just to smile and be grateful that we were able to move our bodies this way and really take care of ourselves, our physical bodies. I am so happy that you decided to join me for your practice today. If this was your first time practicing with me, I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that you hit that subscribe button and join me for more classes every single week. Have a beautiful, wonderful, amazing day. Jai Jai Shri Radhe.